You're just gonna see what you want. See me smiling, you think I'm happy, but it might mean I disagree with everything I see. Tell myself, but you just won't listen. You're gonna see what you want, see what you want. Say what you will, say what you will. Say what you want, say what you want. Say what you will, say what you will. Simple truth is what you're missing. That magic mirror you're searching for, it never will appear. And my cup is full, but you ain't drinking. You're gonna see what you want, see what you want. Say what you will, say what you will. See what you want, see what you want. Say what you will, say what you will. Yeah. It's in your eyes, the way you look through me. I'm
Non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Non-Stop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Krystle Pyette and Mike Burt of Seattle band. I believe you guys are from Seattle, Limberlost. Welcome to you both. How are you both doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome, Tyson. We're excited to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. Okay, so we'll kind of get this out of the way. Tell me a bit about Limberlost, the other band members besides yourselves, when the band was formed, all those sort of details.
Yeah, we've been together for a while now. The origins of the band start with Mike, who's here with us today, and our guitar player, Ricky. And they got together and were, over the years trying to put together a project, and eventually kind of stumbled into me and our initial group of four that formed Limberlost started working together in like the fall of 2014. And so that was kind of like what I see as like the starting point.
Cool.
And we were kind of just writing songs and playing a lot together. And we got to that point where you have to really start working harder in relationships, like you spend a lot of time around people and, that kind of thing. So we were like, let's get our songs recorded at least, because we're writing some cool songs. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to kind of continue as a group or not, but we kind of were able to get through those interpersonal things and really kind of build strong relationships that have stood through to this day at that point. And as soon as we started recording, we got picked up by some local Seattle internet-based radio stations, and we started getting shows, and it's been a wild ride since then.
And now the band hails, as you said, in Seattle, Washington. Of course, we know the legacy that is associated with that city. Do you think that reflects in your music at all?
Oh, I think for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to, it's, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out of this area, not even like in the recent grunge movement, but even before that, I'm an elder statesman of the group. So I was around back in the early 80s, when the heydays of Heart and stuff, even though they're actually more in the 70s. But so I mean, just really cool legacy musicians have come out of this town, and just growing up with all that in your ears, it's just hard not to, it's just really hard not to have had it, influence us in some way.
Right.
Absolutely. And we're a band with two female singers, so that, the correlation is drawn often.
Yeah.
And I would say that definitely Heart paved the way, as it were, with women in rock and roll. They really did something in their day and are still, incredible musicians and still an incredible singer. So I'm very much influenced by her tenacity and her style and, just who she is.
Yeah. I saw them open for Def Leppard.
Did you?
Yeah. Probably 10 years ago. She blew me. They blew me away. Ann Wilson was unbelievable.
Out of the water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just couldn't believe that she, for one, the fact that she hasn't lost anything on her voice. Like,
No.
unreal. So, it was pretty awesome to see them.
Yeah.
From what I recall, it was a hell of a show between the two bands, right? So it was awesome.
They always deliver.
Yeah.
It's funny you say those two bands. Those are the last two concerts I went to before COVID.
Really?
Really?
I went and saw Def Leppard. They were at the White River Amphitheater up here. I went and saw Def Leppard. I can't remember who opened for them. And then shortly after that, it was Joan Jett and Heart down at the Tacoma Dome. So,
wow.
Yeah. And now I got to be honest about Heart now, because I love Ann and Nancy and they can wail and stuff, but it's not the same without the boys. Even some of the more recent boys.
Yeah,
even, they didn't have Ben Smith even on drums this time around. And so it was just, there were no DeRozier licks at all in that concert, not one. And I was just sitting there going, oh, come on, man, just one. But no, they didn't play any of it. They just played right through all the drum fills and crap. So, anyway.
Spoken like a drummer.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
That's so true.
That's like they're not being, that's like going to a Genesis concert and listening to Day in the Air Tonight and the iconic drum fill's not there. To me, that's just,
that's a good point.
It's a crime against humanity.
Yeah, it's a party foul, big time.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
taking prices these days.
Are you the guy when you go to the show that you focus more on the drummer than the whole band then?
I focus on everybody. It's hard not to focus on drummers. We're back there making total spastics out of ourselves. Command attention. But I do watch them. I come from an era where we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have video.
Yeah.
If I wanted to learn what Neil Peart was doing, I had to go to the concert, weasel my way into a side wing so I could get a glimpse of his feet, his hands, and so I could see what actually was happening there. And that's how we studied back in those days. We'd go to concerts to learn. And we couldn't. Like I said, there was no YouTube, there was no tutorials and all that crap. We had to go. We had to go figure it out. You look at even like John Bonham. Came up with the Bonham triplet based on what he thought. Some of the older drummers were doing. And he made it work for him, and then it became this iconic thing. So, we had a little different window to the world. So, yeah, but I do watch the drummer. I'm just out of habit, but I check out everybody, man. If there's I got guitar player fever, man. I love watching good guitar players play. I got to see most of the best in my time. So, being able to watch somebody get up there and just wail on that thing, I do enjoy that.
I come from the same time probably. So I play guitar, so I totally relate to what you're saying of the days before YouTube and before having to learn a song, having to figure it out by ear. And I had a CD player that I could do A and B, so I could just repeat the loop over and over again, and then try and figure it out.
Yep. And that was it, man. I was telling somebody here a couple of years ago, I said, back when I was growing up and I was a teenager, young 20s and stuff, back in the early 80s and so forth, concerts were homework.
Yeah.
They weren't parties. For us, we get a chance to get up there and we try and get up front and all that. And people say, oh, so you can just be up there screaming at the singer and all this stuff. Yeah, well, it was fun. But, we were studying, because we wanted to be those people,
Yeah.
So.
Or you wanted a drumstick or a guitar pick too.
You're right.
Yeah, that was always cool.
That was always cool. It's like, check out what I got.
So, look at this. They threw it and I caught it. I only had to punch one person to get that guitar pick.
Exactly. I actually caught a drumstick at a Poison show once.
Ooh.
And
that's cool, man.
Yeah, and there was a backstage pass on it. It was tied around it. I still have the drumstick, and it was tied around it.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't realize it until after I left the show.
Oh, no.
I was out in the parking lot, and I'm like, what is this? Oh, I was like, oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, well, it probably saved you a trip to the doctor. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's a good point. Exactly. Who knows what would happen back there. So.
Right.
Now, the name of your album is Volume 1. Now this might be a trick question, because does this mean moving forward all the material after will be Volume 2, 3, etc.?
No, not really. That was kind of, the way we were operating, we didn't have like a huge budget for recording. We were just kind of writing songs and then recording them one by one when they were ready. And we were releasing singles on iTunes and what have you, and releasing them to radio and to internet radio. So it just got to the point where we had done enough shows where people are asking us like, hey, where's your CD? Where's your CD? Yeah. So we're like, I guess we put a CD together, and, just kind of in the moment of gathering up what we had recorded to that point was, a volume one was what worked for us for that. Yeah.
I know.
The new album coming out is actually going to be called, actually drops in August, is Good Fight. So that's named after the title track, which we have a video out and so forth. And, recently and so forth. Yeah. So our next album is a little more intentionally an album than it is just as, like Krystle said, we didn't, hey, let's scoop it up and call it, volume one. Hey.
Yeah.
So how much of that, of volume one material, you mentioned Good Fight, will be on that album then?
None of volume one will be on Good Fight. This is all new material since, actually we had just recorded the song See What You Want.
See What You Want.
Okay.
Right as we were releasing the album. So
so it didn't quite make it. So it's on this next album, even though it's been recorded almost 2 years ago now.
2 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
Did the video 2 years ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I mean, in terms of volume one, where was that recorded? Was that done in Seattle? I assume. How long? So it goes back a bit of time then.
Yeah. We're actually from south of Seattle, a little bit, about an hour south. And so our studio that we go to is Crash Bang Boom Studios in Edgewood, Washington. Yeah, it's recorded by an awesome guy named Dave Smith, who has done all of our recording and stuff up until this point, and he's done most of the engineering as well. So yeah, he's done a lot of the mixing work, and he's a real good friend of ours and has been, a partner to what we're doing, and not just a guy who's, paid to do a thing, but he's really, even been a mentor in a way, and like helping me, get my bearings in the studio and that kind of thing. So it's been a really great experience.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you mentioned that you're an hour from Seattle. What is the scene like in Seattle now, in terms of music?
Oh man, so many of the small venues are just, going away, which is really sad, because there's some iconic places that just aren't going to exist anymore. So I think with this whole post-COVID thing, we don't know. We haven't had a show up there in a long time, so I don't know what it's like up there. Down here in the South Sound area, we've got a venue just down the road from me that has a big outdoor stage behind their kind of like bar, grill, restaurant place. And so they're getting the local bands back on stage, which is great. But yeah, a lot of the places we used to go to just aren't there anymore. So it's kind of a waiting game to see what's going to rise from the ashes,
Yeah, no kidding. Do you have shows booked for this year?
Oh yeah. We took an interesting approach to COVID, not knowing what it was at the time, where it was going, but it was. It got to a place in there where we kind of watched people just trying to make sense of it all, and the rise to, what do you call it, the virtual shows and all that.
Live streams.
Yeah, we kind of stayed out of that whole deal. I think we did one. And we got paid to do it, so that's probably the only reason we did it.
Yeah.
To the short of it is, we just didn't quite follow the herd during this whole time. So, really buckled down, got a few projects finished, succumbed to the fact that we weren't going to be able to release our album the way we wanted to. This album was actually ready to release pretty much last year.
Yeah, a year ago.
Still had some pieces to fine tune, but I mean, if we would have set our mind to it, it would have been done last year very easily. And we, so we fine tuned a few things. We finished a couple other projects, and I really went to work on positioning us to be ready for this thing to be over. And we actually got out. We had a tour scheduled last year. We were able to actually get out during COVID and do a few dates.
Oh wow!
We traveled. We had to get out of Seattle. There's no way nothing was happening out here. So we ended up driving to Salt Lake area, played there. We actually went from there to Denver and played there. We did a couple shows in Idaho. Just, random stuff, but, keeping us moving, keeping us going, all under COVID conditions and protocols.
Yeah,
and all
socially
that stuff.
distanced and, under
masks.
whatever local guidelines were happening, that's what we were following.
Yeah. But this year, we actually, coming into this year, we had a bunch of stuff really set up, ready to go, hoping that things were going to go. So we actually have a whole tour up. We just did a show at the venue that Krystle just talked about here locally.
Yeah.
We just did a show on Saturday.
Awesome.
That was our first local. We've done a couple Idaho shows. We've got a whole tour starting on, we've got a couple more local shows that we're doing. We got a pretty big one coming up on the 4th or the 3rd of July here.
3rd of July.
And then then we leave, and then we're opening up for Tantric on the 6th of August. That's the date our album drops. Then we go to a local radio station in Wyoming that we've been spun on quite a bit. That's hosting us and sponsoring a concert there. Then we've got an entire week in Sturgis. We're at the Knuckle Saloon on the main drag for the whole
And that's
week.
like our big bike rally. Yeah.
And then
So very, very cool.
Yeah, then from there to Denver, play with a band called Sunflower Dead. We also pick up some a local counterpart of ours, Blue Helix / Sammy Shoppy or vice versa, whatever he's calling himself these days. But anyway, we play a lot with here. Very stout group of people. This guy's been on Rolling Stone. He's been toured the world. He's done several tours in Brazil. He's a very, very great musician, good friend of ours. Anyway, they're picking up with us. So then we do Denver, Vegas, Phoenix, Salt Lake, and then Idaho, and then back home. So it's quite a deal. And then we've got another trip. We're gonna our brand manager is a guy named Paul Crosby, who you probably know. He's the drummer for the band Saliva.
Oh, okay.
And so he's got some stuff. So we're gonna do a Gulf Coast thing, probably in October, where we're gonna play Mississippi, New Orleans, and Houston. Just a fly-in, and one of his other bands on his label are going to host us on that journey. So we're going to get down there and tour the album down there. So yeah, we've got a lot planned. 2022, we're looking at some stuff, maybe London, maybe England. Working with some guys on some stuff over there. Probably the Midwest, Detroit, Chicago. Got some DJs, pushing some stuff for us up there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on our plate. We did not slow down. We wanted to be on the wave when the doors open, not paddling for it.
Yeah. So we were planning for like best case scenario the entire time.
Yeah,
if things didn't happen, that's okay. We kind of roll with the punches, but we were raring to go.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be busy this year. It sounds like, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's already busy.
Already.
The preparation is insane right now. But yeah, it's so exciting. It's so exciting because we're just not, we're just kind of doing our thing. And, while everybody's, like Krystle said, a lot of people are trying to figure out what's what up here. The local scene's kind of, trying to figure out who survived, who didn't, how they're going to position themselves, all that. We're really not participating in all that because we've kind of focused ourselves on future endeavors. And so we don't really get affected by it that much. We hope that everything comes back. We hope the best for our friends and the venues around here, but we'll start paying attention to that probably more after October, after we kind of get done with our tour and stuff, and kind of see what's up, see what we can do to be a part of it.
Wow. Well, I'm envious because I'm in Toronto, and we are nowhere close to any of this.
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our one of our producers, a guy named Timothy Eaton, actually hails from your neck of the woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he started up there. He was I can't remember what band it was that he played with out of there, but
his name sounds familiar.
Yeah, you look him up. He's pretty major.
He's a big producer. Yeah, he's done some big things. He was the guy behind En Vogue when they were a big thing.
Oh, okay.
A girl group. Yeah. So he's done some things.
That's cool.
Did the Allman Brothers. He was big into the Allman Brothers band.
Yep. He produced one of their albums.
Wow. Yeah, he is big. I checked out the video for A Good Fight on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which it states captions are both available in English and Portuguese, which I thought was kind of cool, which was cool. In reading the premise of the song, I was very intrigued. Possibly you can fill in my listeners a bit more. I also honestly loved where that song was going.
Yeah. Good. That's great. What I'm curious, like, what did you get from it? Like, what was your take on it?
It was, you know what?
Nice move, Krystle.
Yeah.
I've been doing too many of these interviews lately.
No, you know what? Because I watched it. I honestly watched it a couple times this morning. And then I watched the other one as I was going through all my questions, and now I'm lost. I had a hard day. I have to admit.
Oh,
I got home late. I worked a
man.
12-hour day at work today, so it was this morning.
Oh,
And-
dude.
Yeah, so-
yeah. No, that's totally cool. That's cool.
I'm
it
so
was a
sorry.
song that, no worries, man. It's all good. It was a song that I wrote a few years ago, and when I wrote it, it was actually about my relationship with my husband, and we've been together for almost 18 years now, and he's been rock solid for me. I've gone through some ups and downs with mental health over the years, and he's just been such an incredible support. So the song was written kind of almost from his perspective. Like, he's the one who really stood his ground and fought for us to get through that stuff. And when we recorded it and then went to go put out a video, it was like COVID had started happening. And then in the US, we had a bunch of stuff specifically over here in the Portland area and Seattle area. A lot was going on that summer, and there was so much ugliness and so much division and so much just like stuff flying around every direction. And the song for us became kind of like a cry and an anthem for, like, we have to work on this stuff together. We can't, be, lobbing bombs at each other from the other side of the fence, right? We have to get past the stuff that we don't agree about and work together and realize that everybody, we're still people, right?
Yeah.
And so there's value in that. There's value in human life and human beings. And if we're going to get anywhere and make any progress, we have to fight for each other, not against each other. So the words of the song really translated so deeply into what we were experiencing in that time, that when it came time to put a video together, it was definitely with an idea to kind of put an eye on and focus on some of what was happening currently, but also to kind of shift the ideas from look at the terrible things. Yeah, this is reality right now. This is hard stuff. But if we fight for each other, look what humanity can do on the other side of it. So there's images of some of the riots, and there's images of, a lot of protests and stuff that have happened over the years, not just, that summer when we were filming, but also there's images of like reconciliation. There's images of people coming together and helping each other. There's images of like, space flight and things that like, look what we can accomplish when we work together. And so our hope for the video was to kind of walk through that timeline and really refocus on some of the stuff that is worth fighting for.
And if I could, I just wanted to add too is, the one thing that gets kind of lost in the video sometimes, but not for everybody, but sometimes I've heard people, say, well, I didn't get that, is the little girl. And that we have a thing that's happening, and, the world's going by, and as adults tend to get so wrapped up into our reality that we forget who's watching. We forget who's looking at us and looking to us. And so that was the whole putting that little silver thread through there of her watching that whole thing go down.
Watching it happen, yeah.
And then still having the resilience to present hope at the end of it.
Yeah.
I apologize. I swear I watched it.
Oh, that's totally fine, man. No, you were talking to like the queen of like totally being like, huh? So I get it, man. It's all good. It's all good. You're a busy guy, and you probably listen to a lot of music and watch a lot of videos.
Well, I try to pay attention, and I usually do try to pay attention, and I usually try not to be that guy who's like, what?
I'm sorry to have thrown you off
It's
there.
okay.
With that.
It's okay.
The good news is he's probably going to go back and watch it.
I am actually. I was just thinking about that.
We'll get another click. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys will get another click. Don't worry about that. I'm
Right
so
on,
sorry.
man.
Now,
oh, no worries.
now, as for was it the proceeds for Music Cares for that video? Is that how that worked? Because I noticed that
the other video that we did, that was
for See What You Want.
Project. No. So that was another thing. So See What You Want and Good Fight are the two songs that we have, like, actual music videos that we've put together for. The other one that was just more recently posted was actually another project that we were a part of. There's a band in Seattle area called Rain Light Fade, and they wanted to do this project of performing the entire soundtrack to the movie Singles, which was a movie
with Matt Damon.
Yeah. So the entire soundtrack is like, grunge out of Seattle, so it's Alice in Chains and Nirvana, and on there is a Heart cover of The Battle of Evermore by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And so in performing that whole show, they were initially, I believe, going to have Nancy involved with it, but she wasn't able to. And so when the timeline got closer and they weren't able to find anybody to perform that song, they kind of, I'm guessing they just kind of figured, because we were a band with two girls, it would be an easy thing for us to hop in and fill. So about a week before the show, we got a call to see if we would be, willing and able to perform that song as the Ann and Nancy version of Battle of Evermore. And it was a project that they were able to wrap in with the Grammys Music Cares foundations, so that everything from the initial showing of the show, it was like a live stream event that you bought a ticket to. Mm-hmm. So all of the ticket sales go to that organization to help musicians in need and, people in the industry who are out of work and that type of thing. So that was a really fun, exciting thing to be a part of. And, I'm totally cool being B team to Heart on this, So,
it was amazing. I watched it.
Really?
I watched it, and it blew me away. I was like, wow. And I liked how the two vocals, having the two vocalists and being able to do those two parts, which if Zeppelin did it, I mean, Robert Plant can't do both those parts, right? So
yeah, yep.
It was really cool, really well done.
It was fun. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Brittany and Krystle's voice, even though they're very distinctly different, do have a common blending area. And it's really cool when you see those crossovers happen.
Yeah.
And when we're doing covers and stuff, we just did we, after 5 years of people going, you guys are influenced by Heart. No. We've never done a Heart cover. This last Saturday, we did our very first Heart cover ever.
Was it? Is it 70s Heart or 80s Heart?
80s.
Yeah.
I think that's straight on.
It's not a typical pick. It's not like Magic Man or Barracuda. We did
that would be late 70s.
That would be better. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the 80s stuff, the really I have the greatest hits, so there's a few songs on there that are like, they were big radio hits, but they were kind of poppy, melodic rock, I guess. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So that's why I asked. I was kind of curious of what genre you guys of Heart you were thinking of doing. That's cool. Now, the video for See What You Want, this one I do remember. It's a little bit more laid back. Video. It is cool. Yeah. And you're in the beginning, and are you in like a police station getting interrogated or something? Is that how that is that the way it goes?
Well, it's kind of more of a
like Secret Service investigation.
Secret Service, like you're in a dungeon, kind of like people don't know you're there. If you disappeared, nobody know you're there, kind of thing.
It's cool.
That was kind of the whole idea, kind of give it that CIA vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are in the live setting, but then I believe it's yourself and Brittany casually walking down the street.
So back then, that was actually recorded before we had Brittany. So that was our previous vocalist. Okay. That was Tirka. And so she sang on that recording and was in that video with us. But yeah, it's two of us kind of cruising around town, minding our own business. And you see these shady characters in the background, like trying to track us down. Yeah. Right? They're following us. Yeah, that was really a lot of fun. And that's all downtown Tacoma. So that's our area down here where we filmed it. We actually filmed the interrogation stuff down in a basement of a building that it had actually flooded the night before. So what you can't see is that we were like standing in the corner of the room, backed up against the wall where the water hadn't quite reached, but you have to like trudge through inches of water to get in and out of the room and stuff. It was really,
Wow.
it was hilarious. It was fun. Good memories.
The whole thing about that room is yes, it did flood. It was not expected. So we showed up. We had it all set up to go down in that basement room, and it's got like a foot of water in some places. We're like, holy crap, what are we going to do with this? So actually that scene, when you're seeing them in the room, is being filmed in 2 different rooms simultaneously. So
that's right.
we came into one room, everything coming through the door was a different room on another part of the building, and then we filmed our dungeon scene over in the one dry corner of this thing. We actually had to find some old door panels and build like a dock to get to set the camera on and give Ray something to walk on to go slap the thing on the table and stuff. It was friggin' hilarious how we adapted to that.
and we all got parking tickets that day too. So many good stories.
Wow.
Like the parking lot was supposed to be free on the weekends, but somebody came by and gave us all parking tickets anyways. And
really?
Oh my gosh.
The world's got ass.
That's a dirty trick. That's not very nice. That's wrong.
And the other dirty trick is I spent like 2 hours running around that town in like 6-inch heels, and they used 15 seconds of it, man.
Oh, that's you. That's a dirty trick.
Things we do in rock and roll. It's a very dirty trick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because you guys are walking down the street, and like you said, then there's the car, money's exchanged, and then you're running with a file in your hand.
Yes.
And then I kind of, what I got out of it was, okay, I don't know what exactly just happened there, but then I came back to the point of see what you want. You see what you want to see, right?
Yep.
Is that kind of what you were portraying?
That's exactly
Absolutely. Yep. All that was in the folder was actually the picture that you see at the end that has kind of like the single image that says see what you want. Yeah. So it's just this kind of idea about the song is very kind of tongue-in-cheek about, you're going to see whatever you want to see no matter what I do. Sometimes with people it's like, I could do anything and you're still going to have whatever opinion you want to have. So be it, that kind of thing.
That sounds like CNN or the news or whatever.
Well, it was kind of
it was a bit of that, yeah.
It was this photographer. Actually, I just talked to him today because we're finishing up some artwork for the album. But it was him and I on a conversation that started that. It was actually, the song itself was a riff that the guitarist Ricky had come up with. But then there was this little exchange on Facebook that I was having with this photographer friend of mine and a third party who I won't name, and and they were going back and forth at it, and finally Todd had had enough of it, and he just says, "Dude, you're gonna see what you want." And I was like, all of a sudden the light bulb went off. I grabbed my paper and my pen, and I said, "I'm stealing that," and I sat down, and literally that was the song. That was where the song got born.
Yeah.
But it was just that, and it was that whole thing, because that's exactly the world we live in today. Is everybody's truth is their truth. It's not the truth. It's my truth. And it's unfortunate in a lot of ways, but it's just that's just the world we have now, and you're gonna see what you want. Yeah,
that's true. It was funny because I did go through a ton of your YouTube stuff, and you have a YouTube page, and so you mentioned the lineup changes. Has there been? I noticed in 2018 there's a band discussion on YouTube, and then I was like, oh, the band's changed slightly. So has there been a few lineup changes? I take it.
Yeah, it has. From original, there's a 4-piece, and when we started recording and performing, our original bass player was like, I've got young kids now. It's just not the time for me to be jumping on board with what you're trying to do. So with his blessing, we brought Ben into the mix. We kind of stole him from another band in a way, but he came on to just kind of fill in for a few shows for us basically, and then never left. We just kept him. We adopted him, and it was the 4 of us for a while, and we would have this thing where we had like rotating. Yeah, he's a rescue. Just kidding. We picked him up on the side of the road, right? And in that time, we had a couple of different friends. In the end, it was 4 people who had kind of played off and on with us, at different shows on the keyboards, just kind of jumping in for fun. And eventually, we had 2 friends who, Raymond Hayden, and was one of them. And so he was the one who is in the video as the guy who's like interrogating me.
Yeah.
So he was our keyboard player at the time. And but we kind of had rotating doors on the keyboards. It was just whoever was available would play with us. And then when all of those guys kind of like had to say, you know, I can't commit to the level that you guys are wanting to, you know, do, you know, that kind of thing. They ended up stepping away, and then Circa, who was our vocalist for that time, also was like, you know, I want to focus on her own solo project that she wanted to do. So at that point, we kind of had to start looking to fill those spots, because initially we were a 4-piece, but over the time of having them involved, it really became part of our sound, having a keyboard, having that second female on the vocals. And so Tony, who's our current keyboard player, is actually the guy who was the leader of the band that we stole the bass player from. So it's all a happy ending. And he's actually also one of the guys who he kind of rotated in and out for us. He played a couple of shows with us really early on.
He actually was the very first one that ever played.
The very first guy to play keyboard.
Wow.
Yep. So he joined in, and he still has his band project on the side as well. But he's you know, pretty committed to what we're doing at this point. And we just finished working on a song that's kind of a collaboration written with me and him, which is really fun and exciting. And then Brittany came on board because we had a hole to fill it's a very much a soprano position in the field, you know. So it was through, again, our friend Sammy. He was having a show it was a Chris Cornell tribute show, I think. Yeah. And Brittany was a friend of his, and she came on stage and performed one of Sammy's songs with him. And after the show, Mike and his wife were there at the show, and his wife dragged him over and she's like, "You're a great singer. Do you want to join a band? My husband's band is looking for a singer." And she totally like recruited her. So Brittany, if she was here, what she would tell you is that she, you know, was interested, and she started listening to some of our music that we had already recorded, Volume 1. This would have been just after Volume 1 was finished, but before it was released. And the interesting thing for her was to recognize how much kind of similarity we have in the timbre of our voice, so that we could actually sound very similar. Sometimes in the recordings, it's a little hard to tell who's who, just like Ann and Nancy. Yes. There's a lot of times where you can't really tell who switched and who's taken what part. Yeah. So our voices naturally have this great fit, but we sing different vocal parts. Like, she's an actual soprano. She's a trained opera singer. Oh, and she's an incredible musician. And so her parts are above mine, and I'm like a mezzo-soprano, not quite an alto, but not really like, I'm not Ariana Grande. I'm closer to like, Lady Gaga range. So having someone who is really solid in the range just above mine, so that she fits stacked on top so well, is really a unique thing that we have, where we're different vocal personalities and we're different vocal parts, but we fit together so well. That's awesome. So, and it's been great having her around. She's a mom now, and I actually got to be her labor and delivery partner. Oh wow! And be there when she had the baby. So
that's a bandmate.
We're sisters now at this point. It's a bandmate.
That is a bandmate.
We're solid now. Yeah.
It's funny because on the you mentioned about having the second singer. The live stuff, the live footage from 2017 is just you. Yeah. So that would have been just right before Circa joined in. Circa is a good friend of Raymond, who was playing with us at the time. Yeah. And we had a big Battle of the Bands concert that we were doing at a big local casino. And we had did we do the first show without her, Mike? I think?
Yes.
And then, so we did the first round, and we made it through that round. So the second round, she was in town visiting from Denmark, and Ray was like, "Hey, she could use something to do. Do you want her to come sing?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not?" So she jumped in with like 1 or 2 weeks of rehearsal. Again, incredible musician, incredible vocalist. She was able to just kind of like hop right in and start. That was the process of building that part of our sound, where she, wrote a lot of the background tracks, the background vocal parts that we used in recording, and kind of set the stage for where we are now with that. That now it's definitely something that we are not the same band when we don't have Brittany, our second vocalist. She was at home last summer because she had just had the baby, and he was in the hospital for a few weeks after he was born because he was a little premature.
Oh.
So she had to skip out on a couple of shows, and man, it's like 3 times as much work when she's not there.
I bet.
Oh, trying to fill those holes and and make sure that the dynamics and the energy are still delivered that's like a whole lot of extra work. And I'm like, you cannot ever leave me, girl, because
That's
I
right.
need you.
And you're used to hearing it that way now too, right? So it must have been really weird.
It's weird to go back and forth. I try and maintain kind of like, some ability to do it if I need to, if something came up, but I would 100% always choose to have that second vocalist now.
Yeah, that's cool. Now
they're starting to drag us into it too. So that's.
Oh, you guys are singing now. Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. That's good. Do you guys all sing then?
I think everybody's capable. I think we have one tall blonde bass player who shall not be named who thinks he can't, but he probably can. And so we're pushing everybody's comfort zones little by little. And so right now on stage, Mike on the drums and Tony on the keys will often do parts in harmony to what we're doing, and Ricky jumps in kind of now and then. And then when we cover we do The Ocean by Led Zeppelin, there's background parts in that one, and everybody kind of jumps on the mic for that kind of fun stuff. So the goal is, as we move forward, to have more and more participation all the way across the stage with that kind of thing, just because it's fun and it adds something.
Yeah, the real thing was, I think, the very first. I mean, since I've been with the band the whole time, but that was the very first song I think I actually did any harmonies.
Did vocal parts on,
Yeah, and everything else was like hands up, where it was chants and unisons and stuff like that. And we did the good fight, the rough sailors at the end there, it's a good fight, that kind of stuff. But to get up and do that doo-wop Motown type.
Background
is what I called it, background vocals with Brittany. That was actually fun, and since then it's kind of exploded into me and Tony and her doing these things, and so we're starting to move forward. We're kind of injecting that into more and more of our songs, and we're starting to go back and look at some of our older tunes and seeing where those opportunities exist too. Just because I think it makes us bigger and better on stage too.
The more sound, the merrier.
I agree. The more vocals. I feel the same way because. I mean, when it works, when it's all in unison and it sounds amazing, you just want to keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, nothing like a great harmony that comes through. It's just strong and, the fabric of it there. I mean, it's amazing when bands do that. And so to be able to work on those things and present that another dynamic to what we do. I had a very interesting comment came across one of our social threads from this weekend. A new fan came in and she made this comment. She goes, "God, it was so cool to actually hear vocals sung and not screamed."
No.
She goes, "You guys, your volume was, everything about it was where I could actually hear everything, and I could hear the vocals, and it was just so refreshing, and stuff like that." And we take that for granted, but that is a thing. That's especially on local music levels, it's very rare to go to a lot of these rock shows and actually find the caliber of singer. And I'll say this because I can say this, that Krystle and Brittany bring to the table. They are, in my opinion, in the Pacific Northwest, and I've seen a lot of people up here, they're the top tier. There's not outside of, I'm not comparing them to Ann and Nancy, of course, but I'm just saying, but they're top tier. I mean, they're first call singers.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's impressive.
Man.
It's impressive when you hear great delivery and the vocal sounds good, and like you said, you can actually understand the words and everything going together. So, and that's one thing that I picked up from listening to the music. Like I thought the vocals were so strong.
Oh, thank you.
And you walk into the studio, and I do a lot of the production work with our engineer Dave, and to sit back and there's many times when we're sitting back and listening to stuff, and sometimes Krystle hates this, but she's actually went in and laid scratch tracks that we've actually used. She is
drives me nuts.
She is a natural first or one track taker. I mean, when she does I'm just going to tell the story just because I love it. And Brittany did, and Brittany's got an amazing story in the same song, but Timothy comes up and produces the song Good Fight. And, we've never worked with this guy or somebody at this caliber before. And he changed our song, probably for me more than most, but he changed it. So we went in there and we delivered the song. And I remember when it was time to cut the vocals, he got Krystle in the booth and Krystle got in there and she took the song. I mean, just bam, front to back. It was amazing. And we're like looking at each other going, yeah, that's it. That's the one. And Timothy goes, well, I want to try something. So he takes Krystle out and they walk around the block or whatever, and he talks to her and gives her a little pep talk and stuff, whatever that was. And they came back and sat down. He goes, let's do it one more time. And he sat in there with her. They turned the lights down, all that, and she did it again. One take. And that's the take you have it on the album.
It was completely different, though. It was
a completely different delivery.
Delivery on it, which was very interesting for me to see, to be able to hear them back to back for myself. It was actually very instructive.
But the point is there was none of this going in and melodyning and let's punch in here, punch in there. We don't do a lot of that with these girls. And so the point is that Brittany, her whole world was just freaking crushed because everything she'd rehearsed, every part she had
was changed. All of it.
Yeah. And now it's her turn. So she's like totally broken. She's like crying. And we cut her a CD. She goes out and sits in her car.
She sits in her car for half an hour.
Comes back in.
Half an hour.
And one takes and drops the background vocals you're hearing on that album.
In all the harmony parts, everything. Just wrote out a new part for herself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, no post-production on any of that stuff.
That's insane. Okay. I'm impressed that there was no punch-ins. Like that is amazing.
No, and we have, I think that what ends up happening is the songs where we do have done punch-ins, they're great songs and I love them to death, but the caliber of the vocal is not the same because
it's overworked because I was overthinking.
Yeah, when she delivers I don't think this is real, and she gives us all the emotion and all that, whatever it is,
and I'm not worried about it. When I'm not worried about it,
right.
It's lets the imperfections live and does all the things that make it human in her. Then we get this amazing vocal, and I know, like I said, I know it pisses her off sometimes because we'll come back and I'll go, and she'll like, don't say it, we're robbing her of that day in the studio, but that preparation, but it's like you're not going to do this any better though. You might technically nail it, but you just delivered a masterpiece. Why would we screw with it?
So how? Well, I'm just curious. Like, what was the change? Like, was it a melody change? Was it tell
the story?
Well, so we went. So I don't have the greatest memory. Just working. Yeah. So what I remember from our talk, it was really, he was talking about what singers do you look up to? Who are you listening to right now? What is it that you like about what they're singing? And the idea being that it's not always the pitch being perfect. It's not always everything being, again, so just sterile and perfect and the notes being perfect. It's more about, again, the humanity and the delivery. And we talked about different lyrics in the song that we really wanted to kind of, change the way that I was delivering so that I was just as connected as I could be. And we came away with a performance for me there was a lot of stuff that I ad-libbed in that track that I had never done before. So it was really he was just trying to get me to push beyond the limitations I was putting on myself and just sing, just sing and go crazy with it. There's even one part in the song where I'm literally screaming, it's an intense part. And he told me he wanted me to sing that, I don't know, he has these funny things that he says, but crazier than a crap house rat or something like that. I don't even know what it was he said. And he's like, I just want you to go. And so it was fun and it was great because what I learned in that day working with him has definitely gone forward with me into, the recording that we've done since then. I think really the only thing we've done since then was Real Thing after that, right?
Oh, we did Setting Sun. We did.
Okay, yeah. See, my memory is terrible. It's terrible. But so that's stuff that I take with me into the studio every time now, making sure that I'm not focused on the perfectionism, because I can even go back and hear it over the years where I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and do that differently, because I can hear the thinking. Listening back to yourself, you can remember what you were thinking at that time. And I would love to just shake it out a little bit more, but you learn and you grow and you take those things and they become a part of who you are as an artist as you progress and as you go through.
So I mean, really cool. After hearing it, were you glad for the changes then?
I was. Yeah, I really was. I think there's some things in that song that he really got me to do, which was almost sing less, especially in the first verse, where it's like I'm so used to, as a vocalist, you want to always be strong and clear and deliver. And so, sometimes you just hold out your notes all the time without thinking about it. And if you take a little bit, you peel a little bit of that back, you get a little bit more conversation in the way that you sing, and you get more intimacy, and you get more, connection with the words. And I think that really comes across in parts of that song where we really brought it back to, there's melody happening, but very much I'm talking about what is going on instead of just, Barbara Streisanding the whole thing. So
that's good. Oh, that's amazing. Like I said, I have to listen to it again because I already screwed up. So.
Oh, no, that's not good. Another one you should go listen to. That's actually a fun story. Is The Real Thing, which is a single we last summer, I think. So it'll be on the next album. But that one, we had recorded all of the tracks for that song except the vocals, and then the COVID shutdown happened right as we were getting ready to do that. So, we waited a few weeks, and we weren't sure what we were going to do, and we were still at that time trying to think about getting the album out that summer. So what ended up happening is we borrowed a computer, and we borrowed recording equipment, and Mike brought it to my house and dropped it off on the doorstep. And I got in my closet and shoved the clothes out of the way, and I sat on the phone with our recording engineer, and he helped me set up the computer and get the recording software going. So that recording was in my closet during COVID.
Wow.
And so I sent him back the track as kind of, as good as I could get it. I did a little punching in and punching out because, hey, it was my show at that point. I could do what I wanted.
Yeah.
But when I sent it back to him, he went through and cleaned it up and did all the leveling and made it something that you wouldn't know that's how we accomplished that in the album. It was actually a pretty cool feat of mastery that he did, so that it sounds like it was still, recorded in the studio, and it doesn't sound like, that sticks out weirdly.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, one of those fun stories of you got to do what you got to do. We just weren't ready to stop. We weren't ready to say, well, we'll just wait and see. We're like, okay, we need to be safe and we need to take care of people, but we need to still, do what we can to keep moving forward.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned about listening to that song. I was trying to listen to more stuff, more of the material. But, so you know how it's linked on your website to Amazon Music? Well, I think it's only Amazon Music US because I can't listen to it in Canada.
No.
Yeah.
Do you get Spotify?
I don't have Spotify because, I have the free Spotify, but I doubt I'd be able to listen to it. So I have Amazon Music because I have, everything Amazon. And so I went to try and listen to it.
I believe our songs, so not every song might be on our channel, but there is the topic channel on YouTube that our publisher puts up.
Okay.
So all of our other tunes should be available via that method of getting to them.
Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to check anything else out.
Yeah, the topic has them all. Hey, worst case scenario, just send me your email address. I'll shoot you some MP3s.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. It was.
But that's interesting to know, though.
It was frustrating because I'm like, it's happened before. I've had it where someone will say, "Oh, listen to us on Amazon," and I was like, I can't because something to do with, I guess it's regulations between Canada and the U.S. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I would say mostly down here in the States, I think we tend to point to iTunes most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's probably we're in more markets on iTunes, but it just might be, again, those behind the scenes agreements with Amazon and stuff.
So many darn streaming sites, right?
Well, that's the struggle is that there's all these platforms, and you know, we have a great distributor of Von Artists. Now you've given me, I wrote that down, so I'm going to actually ask them. Hey, what's the deal between Amazon's?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we're on the Sony backbone, so we should be everywhere. So But you got all these different platforms. I mean, you got SoundCloud, you got Reverb Nation. If you can get on there, our stuff's on there.
True. Yeah.
We try and make sure our music's accessible. Just about everywhere. But it's just amazing that there's some new thing out that I just found out called disco, and it's not like disco like Mirrored Ball and John Travolta.
Staying alive.
Yeah, but it's a new way to present your stuff to people. Kind of, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a hipster's type of thing. I don't know, but anyway, I've got a friend of mine, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you need to get your disco set up and all this." I'm like, no, I don't want another one. I got like 40 of these things. That's why
I've got the Instagram and the Twitter and everything. Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, man.
I know.
That's why I put an EPK together. Everything is on there.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, go get it. All the links, all the stuff, all the things.
Well,
it's. But yeah, if you find, if you can't get your way into any of that, just let me know. I'll make that happen.
Well, it's funny because my daughter said to me, she's like, "Dad, you need to be." I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, and she's like, "No, you need to be." Oh no, I'm on Twitter. Sorry. She's like, "Oh, you need to be on this, and you need to be." I'm like, I don't have time to.
If she mentions TikTok, run the other way.
Oh, I've never been on TikTok. I've just heard about TikTok, and
I do Instagram, but that's where I draw my line.
Yeah.
I set up a TikTok, but it scared me and I ran. So
it's a scary case.
Well, I have a friend at work who sends me crazy TikTok videos all the time, and I'm like, "Why did you send me that? I don't need. What is this?" So before I let you guys go, we've mentioned the YouTube stuff, and of course we didn't. I mean, we've mentioned social media, but I'm sure Limberlost is on all those avenues.
The major platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reverb Nation is a great resource as well. Kind of like Facebook for bands in a way.
Yeah.
And our own website and YouTube are kind of like the primary channels that we use.
And most of that's like, you can look us up under Limberlost or Limberlost Music. I think the only one that's rogue is Limberlost_band is our Twitter. Somehow that happened.
Yeah.
But Limberlost Music. It's like our Limberlostmusic.com is our base website, and we're Limberlost Music on Facebook. You made a comment about the Portuguese.
Yes. Yes.
And it was it's funny because as we grew our Facebook following, I went and started studying some of these things. I didn't realize there was like this deep state Facebook, not the crap that, censors all your stuff, but there was actually a business management page.
The advertising.
And but it was much more than that. It's much more than the sponsored ad thing and all that most people do. Anything you can do from the Facebook platform itself, you're getting ripped off. Okay. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Okay.
You have to get underneath, and you have to get into the Facebook Business Manager by Facebook has all these tools in there where you can actually get affinity ratings on your music, on the people that look at your music, the things that are like your music, and you
get a lot of analytics.
Yeah, you get all that crap that causes that stupid ad to pop up on your Facebook page right after you talk about something is all in there, and you can put that to work. And and so I did a couple of years ago. I started doing that, running some targeted ads and so forth, and saw that we started growing our social media following. And it was actual organic people actually getting involved because they were looking for what I had. We were actually marketing to people that were looking for us. They just didn't know it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Brazil took off like a shot. I was.
It was Sammy connected, wasn't it? It was a little bit. 'Cause Sammy had been. No.
It had nothing to do with Sammy because Sammy, our friend who runs Blue Helix, Sammy Shoppy, has actually toured Brazil several times. His wife is a national, and no, because he doesn't even have anywhere nearly. I mean, I think he's got maybe a couple thousand fans down there on Facebook. We got like 27,000.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And so it made a ton of sense as that started to grow.
do the
become over half
Portuguese.
of our to have closed captioning in Portuguese. I don't have to make dumbass lyric videos. So
Yes.
so now they can pull that up and go. And not to mention, there are people out there that need help hearing. And,
Right, yeah.
and stuff. So it adds to that dynamic that. Now if you're sitting there, you can get a translation. And since, over half of our following on Facebook and YouTube, speaks Portuguese, it made sense to have it there. We're starting now to have a big following over in India. I think we've got 18,000 followers over there now. And so, India is now something that we're kind of toying with in terms of, there's a site, I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's a site that actually does that for you. Where you can send them in and stuff like that. It's pretty inexpensive, and they'll actually do all the translations, and then they send you the link back, and then you just boom stick it into your YouTube creator, and it'll do all that for you, and it'll actually set that up. It's a real simple thing to do, and I think it also points to when you point to your demographic audiences like that you have. It also lets them know that, hey, I know you're there.
You're paying attention. We care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I can, on my host, I can look up, like, I can see all my demographics of where all my listening, where every single listener is.
Yeah.
It'll tell me all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting, too, that you brought that up.
Yeah. It's
That's good to know.
I mean, it's just data, but I mean, if they're going to try and sell me stupid things I talk about during the day all day long, I might as well work for me, right?
Freaking right. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yes.
I got more pantyhose ads than I know what to do with.
No comment.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm not saying anything.
Oh, we've got some pictures.
Oh,
we have the pictures.
The one thing you got to learn about me is I will take a conversation off the cliff just to see if you guys will follow any day.
Yes, absolutely. But for real though, Mike Burt was having a heyday in the 80s, wearing him some spandex.
Oh,
and they have the photos to show.
Well,
I got poison photo. I partied with the crew back when they were the crew.
Really?
I ran around
like animal print spandex.
Oh, those
it's
are the
be on your
best.
Facebook page somewhere.
I'm glad. I'm glad I was like a little too young then, so I never did that to myself. I'm sorry, Mike. I just.
Hey, I'm still sitting here licking my wounds. I just turned a big 6-0 2 days ago, so.
You wouldn't believe it. You see him at a show, you would not believe that man is 60.
Wow.
It's bonkers.
Wow. Well, good for you. You're still rocking. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
That's great.
And he doesn't look like he's beat to heck as like half, most of the rockers out there from those days anyways either. So.
Well, that is true. Yeah. So
I only took the good drugs.
Or so you thought.
And not that many of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them was formaldehyde apparently because I'm preserved.
There you go.
That's perfect. Oh, that was good. Well, you know what? I really had a good time. That was a total pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
And too. This was a great time.
And I'm gonna listen to some more Limberlost. I'm going to.
Cool.
Because I was liking it. Like I said, I just had one of those busy days, so I was like.
Oh yeah.
It happens. So.
Well, remember to be sniffing around on August 6th when we drop the new album. There's still some songs nobody's heard yet, so a couple little treats on there that people are going to go, oh my God, really?
Well, I mean, I will, I'm probably going to want to talk to you guys again when the album drops, so we can talk about the album. So let's work on that, and I'll talk to Jody and I'll let her know.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, Jody's great, man. She's doing a great job. We appreciate having her on the team.
Yeah, Jody's the best. I love working with Jody. So, and we gave her a plug. So,
There you go.
Hey,
I
there
probably
you go.
don't give her as many plugs as I should, so she does a great job. So anyways, you guys, thank you for your time and have a great night. And I can't
Oh,
wait.
you too, man.
Can't wait to hear the new album.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks, sir. It's been a blast.
It's been a blast.
Take care now.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Empires rise and fall, and seasons make way for the changes, and some things don't stay the same at all. We're no longer at the start, but still nowhere near the ending. And before we drift apart, let's take these thoughts and paint them on the silence that's been hanging around today. This tangle of misunderstandings we've been dragging around again. 'Cause I won't let you go.